I visited West Africa in 1977, Senegal. Then I went to Kenya, that used to be British East Africa. Then on up to Egypt, to Cairo, and to outside of Cairo to look at the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx, and then took a plane up the Nile River to the ruins of Thebes and walked through the temple of Ammon at Amun-Ra that was built in 3700 BC, the greatest temple that was ever built in the world. And I saw all these great things. And we know that black people built all these things. And yet Hornby was supposed to be the greatest historian of his day, a professor at Oxford University. And he tells you that these people were white. And if you listen to these people, you'll get your mind terribly balled up. Down in Kenya, outside of Nairobi, I visited a village of people that called the Maasais. The Maasais of the same racial stock as the ancient Egyptians and the Ethiopians. And while I'm standing there looking the village over, some of these people came up and I was shocked. All the authorities that I have consulted told me that these people were members of the white race. And they were blue-black. In Senegal, where they say the people are Negroes, most of them are sort of medium brown colored. None of them were actually black, but they are Negroes. And then you go over to East Africa among the Maasais, and most of them are blacker than a blackboard, and they are white people. So I mean, if you're going to get the lowdown on history, you've got to use your own head, not somebody else's. Now I found out that the Greeks, who were supposed to have been the founders of civilization because they were the first civilized white folks, but the Greeks got their civilization from the Egyptians. And the Egyptians were black people. And the Greeks passed their civilization on to the Romans. And the Romans are a very stupid, dumb bunch of people for the most part. They couldn't retain it. They lost it. They had a dark age in Europe for 500 years. And then another bunch of Africans, the Moors, from North Africa moved into Spain and started civilization all over again. So instead of Europe civilizing Africa, Africa has civilized Europe 2 times. So that's what you have to keep in mind. And now I want to say something about why it is that I have to be talking to you about African history. The reason I'm talking to you about it is because it's not in the textbooks. And it's not in the textbooks because we don't write textbooks. We have other people write the textbooks and they put that propaganda in there, and we are supposed to swallow it. Now we are told that after the Greeks were taken over by the Romans and that civilization decayed, and then the Roman civilization went down after the fall of Rome, and you had a 500-year dark age. We were told that Christianity re-civilized Europe and produced modern civilization. And we know, if we read the literature, that these white Christians of Europe are the dumbest people that ever lived. They said that the earth was flat like a pancake out in the vastness of space, with the sun and the moon and all the stars going around it. The ancient Egyptians in the Pyramid Age 6,000 years ago knew that the world was round. They knew that it went around the sun in 365 and 1/4 days, and their astronomers measured the earth, and they knew what the polar diameter was. They knew what the equatorial diameter was. They measured the circumference of the earth, and they calculated it so accurately until modern astronomers said their error was only 1 yard. In other words, the circumference of the earth is about 25,000 miles, and they calculated it with an error of about this, 1 yard. So if you read history the way it happened and not the way other people wrote about it, you will find out that the black race created the civilization, civilized the white folks 2 times. So that you want to get some perspective on this. And the white folks took the religion of ancient Egypt, of Ethiopian Egypt, and boiled it up completely.